Average selling price. In this exercise, we have the table called prices with 4 columns. Product ID, start date, end date is the primary key combination of columns with unique values for this table. Each row of this table indicates the price of the product ID in the period from the start date to end date. For each product ID, there will be no two overlapping periods. That means there will be no intersecting periods for the same product. So it says there will be no two overlapping periods. In the tables units sold, we have 3 columns: product ID, purchase date, and units. This table may contain duplicate rows. Each row of this table indicates the date, units, and product ID of each product sold. Write a solution to find the average selling price for each product. Average price should be rounded to 2 decimals. And if a product does not have any sold units, its average selling price is assumed to be 0. Return the result table in any order. The result format is in the following example. So let's see what the prices table look like. And we can see that there's start date and end date, because also in real life too, like when you do a shopping, the prices change all the time. That's why we have start date and end date of the product's price. So in this case, for example, the product ID one, let's say this is like I don't know, like a Nike shoe. The price was 5, and then it changed to 20, so it went like 4x. After a couple of days, it was only $5 for for like 10 days, 11 days, and then after that it jumped to $20. And product ID, let's say this is an Adidas shoes, it was $15, and then it jumped to $30. So think about it like that in real life. Units sold table, which is how many units are sold within that period of time. And it also makes sense that more units were sold when there was a discount, when the price was lower. So 100 of these Nike shoes was sold. So in total, we can see that 5 by 100, 500 in total, $500 revenue is generated by the business. So that business made $500 from this transaction. And 15 by 20. So this purchase date, for example, is within this range. So it's going to be $20 per each unit. So in this case, 20 multiplied by 15 is going to be 300. And this for product ID1 and product ID2. Again, it's higher when the price is lower, and 200 units are sold off the price 15, and 30 is sold from the price 30. And so these guys are the unlucky guys, I guess, who bought the same product for a higher price. And what's asking us is the average price for product ID 1 and product ID 2. So the business owner wants to see how much the of average each product has made. And we can see that, I mean, logically thinking, because it's between 5 to 20, it can never be bigger than 20 and less than 5. And this can never be bigger than 30 or less than 15. So it makes sense, kind of sense, because it's close to 5, since more units are sold at a cheaper price. And this is close to 15, to the minimum level, because same here, it's actually double of that. So let's get started and try to put this logic into SQL, which, by the way, in analytical SQL, we do this very often. It's analytical engineering, where you kind of create, calculate this kind of statistics. Okay, select product ID from prices. And I also want to see the price. And I'm gonna call this T1 because I need to see the units sold. Left join units sold T2 on T1 that product ID equals t2 dot product id. One critical thing is I need a join condition to make sure that I'm not joining only by product, but I also need the date. So this purchase date should be in between start date and end date, because otherwise I'm gonna get multiple records and it's gonna seem like same units are sold each time. So it will be like a mess here, and I will have many other rows and I will get the numbers wrong. I need to make sure that the purchase date is between start date and end date to make sure the items are sold once. Avoid the duplicate records. T1. So how can I say it? Purchase date is greater than start date, and purchase date again is smaller than end date, and can be equal to start date as well. It can be equal to end date as well. And then I'm gonna write them separate at the beginning to see the details. Price by units. Just let's run and see what we are gonna get. Just put the name of the table. So what I'm getting is 500, 300. Okay. And if I add another column here, price by units, so I get, all right, to get the average for each product, what I need to do is sum the price per product and sum the units per product and divide it by each other. So this is going to be a subquery. Select star from T1. I'm going to be getting product ID, price, and units. I'm going to say revenue, sum the units and sum the revenue. And sum revenue over sum units and group by product ID. This one. This is average. This should be the average. Okay, it seems like I'm on the right track because I'm getting the same number, the calculation seems to be right. I just need to round it by 2. Round, and get rid of this because I know there seems to be right. And call this average price. The same name for the column. Okay, the case is accepted, but let's submit and check the other cases. Okay, I failed from some of them. It says the output is null, whereas it should be 0. So what do I use in this case? This thing appears all the time in each scenario, man. I'm gonna go nuts. Perfecto. Alright, guys, I mean, the method here is quite important. We've seen the concept that we need to check that the date is between the start date and end date. We've done the calculation of price units multiplied by each other to check the revenue, and also to get an average price. We took the total price, which is the revenue, divided it by the total number of units, and rounded by 2, round the number by 2, and then use a coalesce to assign a value to the null values. And then in the end, group it by product ID. For each product, I want to see the average value. So these are the steps. Actually, it's not an easy question, but I don't know. I mean, this is definitely not easy, but it says it's easy. Okay, then it's easy. Anyways, Guys, let me know if you have any questions and I will move to the next question then.